think that one of the first things that we do is to think what is the main purpose of this project, no? And what is our main goal for it? What is our main interest? And then I think we resume that idea. We always think it as an idea, no? That is how it starts. And that idea we represented in a drawing normally, or a collage, or something that is visual. And every time we're struggling with the project, we go back there, and it always has the answers, definitely. I mean, it's very clear, and there's times where we are really not arriving to a solution, and I realize that it's when we don't have that idea clear since the beginning, no? So sometimes because of speed, or because of because we had to start in a pumpy way, or we change, probably, for example, sometimes what happens is that the client decides to change the site or to change the program, no? And then we don't go back to the core main idea, and we struggle to arrive to the conclusion. And then when we really define that, we're able to flow again. And it has proven always that that's the main core part of it. And it not only plays a role in the first parts, I think it plays a bigger role all the way through the development of the projects than in the beginning, no? Because it really puts everything together. Every move we do, if it's not working, it's like, well, what was the main purpose? Well, this is not serving to that. Let's do it next, no? And everything, even the smallest detail of the project. I think the ethics behind never compromise. It's very important to know where you stand and how would you develop on those ethics, no? And stand by them. And with no means I would trespass that line. I would prefer not continue doing the project. We've done that before, no? So there are projects that they surpass the line of our ethics, and they definitely are not part of our work. And so that is in terms of those constraints, no? And the other ones, I always think they're opportunities all the time. I don't see them as constraints. It's always an opportunity to get something done that would respond to whatever we wanted to respond, just with some guidelines, actually, no? They're guidelines, they're driving you towards the answer, and they are the opportunities to allow you to do something that would respond to it in a very good way. And I also think that enhances creativity. And this is one of the things that we, in the context that we work, have as an asset, no? And I realized that when we were doing a project in Lyon, in France, when we were in one of the first meetings, I don't remember which number it was, but it was in the beginning of the project, the promoters, which were the clients, were telling us all the conditions on how we were going to work in terms of the budget for the construction, the fees for our work, you know, and all those things. And there was a group of 10 different architects from different nationalities, some of them Swiss, some of them French, and us, that we are Mexicans. And in the beginning, the Swiss said, oh, we cannot work with that kind of budget, not for the construction, not for the fee, this is ridiculous, we're not going to be able to do anything. Then the French were like, well, this is normal. Yeah, it's a little bit constrained, but this is France. This is how we work. This is normal. And we were like, what? Can we do that social housing with that large budget? Can we work with that fee? Yay! You know, translated in pesos from euro. It was like really fantastic. So when you start a project, thinking you have all you can have for a project to do something, you have many, many more ways to respond than when you start a project thinking, oh, I cannot do anything with this, you know. And so I think that what gives us to work in that constrained environment is actually a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways of enhancing our creativity, no? Because also you have to be super creative to understand how to do with so very little means in many senses of the word, no? Technically, economically, politically, legally, we have very little means. I mean, everybody says, it's fantastic, you don't have codes, no, for construction codes. I don't think it's fantastic. I think it's very little means, because that gives you a frame to work and a platform for equality, no, and for many other things which we don't even have, no. So, but all those things that are like constraining, it looks from the outside constraining. I see them always as opportunities. Well, I think the key thing to work in a team is to understand that everybody will think differently than you, and that everybody has definitely something to give that would be very good for the project, and that you might disagree, no? And I think that understanding that position is allowing the possibility of the other, which I very much like, no? When you're working for other people, because that's what architects do, we do that, no? We create architecture that will be used for many, many, many other people, not only by you, maybe not even by you. You have to really include them. And I always been thinking in my work, how can not even I work for them, not even with them, but be them to work, no? How can I transport myself into that mind, which is impossible, but I try to do it, to build something for that other person, no? And not for that other person, to being that other person and then build. And I think that already an exercise of the mind to do that is collaborations, because, as I say, when you're in a table and you're listening to the other opinions, and not only listening but really allowing other opinions to happen, then you're also in a way to start to allow other things to happen to the architecture that responds to more people, no? Because definitely you don't like the same things I like, and even if we can agree in a discussion, we might completely disagree in how you like your bed, or where you want the window facing your bed, no? And if I want to impose that, you're going to be totally unhappy in your space. And so the only way I could really do a good architecture is by listening to you and understanding that you like your window there, even though I think it's wrong, no? But I think that is a way of acting as human beings, and if we do that as society, we would become a better society, no? Especially nowadays that we have all these populisms in the world, and these forces that are pulling the societies apart. It's exactly doing that. It's exactly trying to not allow people to allow different opinions and live with them. And not only live with them, there might be good ideas in the other people that you think they're opposite, no? Well, I definitely think it's not only nature, no, what surrounds the architecture. Architecture definitely comes to a place, any place that it is, to become part of it. It's never going to be growing from it. No, it's always a foreigner, because it's not naturally growing. It's not like the forest that grows naturally. No, so the architecture comes and imposes something into any landscape, any context, urban, rural, natural, concrete, anyone. And so therefore I think that it's always very important to have that as a very present thing in the design, no? I always think that my architecture comes to add one piece to that collage that the landscape is, no? It's already a collage, even if it's a natural one or it's a built one. For me, a collage is a group of things that are in one setting, no? a group of different things that are in one setting. And I think our architecture is that piece, that every architecture that comes and adds one piece to that thing. So I think it's very important to have that in mind, no? And thinking that you cannot be be growing from it, thinking you're not going to be naturally there. How can you dialogue better with it? No? How can you become part of that collage in an harmonious way? No? And therefore, I think that it's very important to create an important understanding of the conditions, not only physical conditions. No, we normally, architects are very aware of what is the neighbor line and what is the building that it's on the side or in the front or the plant or the tree that is around. But I think that the context also includes what is the political environment, what is the economical environment, what is the hand labor that is going to do those buildings, what is the materials that are around, what is the materials that the rest of the environment is done with, what are the techniques used. Can we use them? Can we don't? Can we include them? Can we just even try new things, you know? So I think that being also aware is part of responding to that other, no? That I would love to be when I'm doing a project.